In 2002, Christopher Nolan gave us a crime thriller that stars Al Pacino and Robin Williams. This movie is called Insomnia. Two LA detectives come to Alaska to help solve a small town murder of a teenage girl. And in this small town, the sun never sets. A lot of people probably don't even know about this film from Nolan, as it is heralded as one of his most underrated gems. This was the first time I had watched this film. Now, this movie is really anchored by its two lead actors coming head to head and really being the protagonist and antagonist of this story. Hilary Swank also does a really good job in this film as she plays a cop in Alaska who is inspired by Al Pacino's character and looks up to him as a role model, as he is known as being one of the best detectives and one of the best at his aforementioned job, which is solving murder cases. This movie starts from the get-go. You see these two detectives as they're touching down in Alaska, the small town. It's the halibut central of the world, so you know that you're gonna have that small town feel. And something like this type of murder, something like this has never truly happened in this town, as they're used to more domestic calls. This movie is a film that's very different from Nolan, because even though I felt a little bit of the same Nolan energy and passion and enthusiasm in this film, I didn't necessarily feel completely 100% enthralled like I do with other Nolan works. This is a movie that didn't necessarily fit the Nolan mold. And what I mean by that is really it felt like anybody could truly have been behind the camera directing this film. That's how it felt. Now, putting that aside, this movie to me is definitely my lower tier 4 Nolan films. And the reason why is not because I don't like the movie. I still think the movie is very solid. But I think the movie has a couple of issues. Number one, the mystery around this murder doesn't necessarily flush out. And the reason for that is because the movie never allows for the mystery to truly happen. It's a movie that tells you a lot and shows you a lot of what's happening. There's one thing in this movie that I really do like, and that is the symbolism behind guilt, which we know Nolan is really able to symbolize a lot of things in a lot of his different films. In this movie, he's able to symbolize guilt with the lighting of this town. The sun never sets in this town. It is completely light out. Even when it's 3, 4, 5 in the morning, it still looks as if it's daytime. And that really kind of hits into the point of insomnia, which is the lack of sleep, right? That's a big focal point in this movie because Al Pacino's character has a very hard time sleeping due to his guilt. And a lot of it has to do with the lighting. It has to do with the symbolism that Nolan sets in place to show truly how guilty these characters are in this film. The movie's score is a little flat to me, and it doesn't have that true epicness or even that like slight adrenaline that other Nolan scores have. It was kind of a very memorable score in a way. I don't think the score really helps the cause of this film or really makes a gradual or giant impact to the overall scope of the film. Nonetheless, Insomnia is a very good film. It's one of Nolan's earlier works. It's before he did films like The Prestige, The Dark Knight trilogy, Inception, Interstellar, and Tenet, and all of these films that we've come to love now. And you can really see someone who's trying to craft and perfect their work through a movie like Insomnia, which is kind of a great way for Nolan to show that he can do a lot of different genres and kind of think outside of the box. What do you guys think of Insomnia? Let me know down below in the comments section of this video. Make sure you guys drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Consider hitting the subscribe button and being a part of this movie community. And as always, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.